What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy on the sensei back with part 2 of What if Overbullyied Izuku Midoriya chose to become a villain? If you enjoy my content, consider buying me a coffee. Link in the description. Like the video, share, and subscribe. Remember to check out the author of this fantastic fanfic. Link in the description. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. I'm heading out for a while. With no response, I leave. I took my design prints and my assignment work and headed over to the mountainside by taking the train. Apparently, the winter blossoms are blooming. A lot of people are gathering around the mountain to watch and enjoy themselves. I took the train and then a bus to get closer to the mountains. From there it was an hour or two walk. I look around the mountain area for a good spot to relax and finish my designs. After a while of searching, I eventually found one. It was further up the mountain, but nobody was really around this area, and it was still a nice spot. I sit on the edge of a wooden fence overlooking the scenery. I take out a board to have something to draw on, and I start sketching my designs. I went back and forth from the books in my bag to get references. As I start sketching, whilst listening to some music, some time passes. Vibrations started striking the ground. Before I realized what was happening, a massive dust storm rushed at me. A huge gust of wind pushes me forward as I fall off the fence, nearly going off the mountainside. I screamed in panic as I was inches away from a long drop. What the hell was that anyway? Before I could finish my thought, a blur started running from the direction the dust storm left in, and then sprinted towards me. I am very sorry, sir. I was not aware this trail was being used. As he speaks up, someone from a distance is seen as they try to catch up to this person. They look completely exhausted, out of breath, and even look like they are about to faint. Hui oof. Yida, slow down. Hui, the person before me stands there wearing armor. It looks familiar. I swear I have seen it before. Are you Ingenium? As it clicks in my mind, I've never seen him without his mask, though. Oh, are you a fan of my brother? It is very nice to meet you. I am Yida Tenya. My name is Izuku Midoriya. It's nice to meet you as well. Oh, and this person is Achako Uraraka. Hui, very nice to meet you. I look at her in pity, as I see she's practically on death's door. You seem a bit exhausted. Here, I look at the girl. She's petite, fair-skinned with puffy cheeks. She's dressed in a vest and blue, white, and red jogging wear. I hand her the bottle of water from my bag, passing the water to Achako. As soon as I did, she put on an extremely relieved expression. Did she not bring her own? Ha, so refreshing. Thanks a lot. So what are you guys doing up here? You nearly blew me off the mountain. We are currently in the process of training our quirks. Bracket, oh really, what quirks do you have? Do you have a quirk similar to Ingenium? I saw how fast you were going. What's your top speed? My words start to blur together as I start ranting about quirks and heroes. You are really excitable. We are both training our quirks endurance. I'm training my speed, and I'm training my resistance to nausea. My quirk is zero gravity. I get really nauseous after using it. Right, Brace? Isn't there any better way to train your quirk than running up and down the mountain? I ask her. Not that I can think of, she says proudly. An airhead. Right, so are you guys studying at a hero academy? I guess based on what they told me about their quirks and how they are training them. Yes, we are currently studying at UA. Huh? What's wrong, Midoriya? Oh, nothing. I just have a friend that goes to UA as well. He's rather chaotic. There are quite a few people like that. It makes it hard to study, Yida says in an annoyed tone, especially in our class. We are currently in 1A, but with all the shouting it's hard to concentrate. Our teacher basically gave up. He sleeps most of the time. Brace class 1A. Oh, I guess you've met Bakugo already. They both look at me in shock, almost as if they are repeating my words over and over in their head. They give me a weird expression as they ask, are you friends with Bakugo? Just to double check if what I said was actually correct. Less of a friend and more of an acquaintance, I say in response. It's hard to believe he's capable of making friends. They both look at each other with a depressed look. What did they have to go through with him? Oh right, I forgot to ask. What are you even doing up here? You could have really gotten hurt. Brace, is someone actually caring about me? That's a first. I'm currently doing an assignment. I work at a hero equipment design department. That's really cool. That is quite impressive. Not everybody has the skill to be able to do something like that. What company are you in? I'm currently working at the Camino company. They are completely silent as they look at me in shock. This continues until are you serious? That's one of the biggest companies. Barely anyone gets accepted. Wow, you seem to know a lot. How could I not know? Everybody knows. I look over at Yida as he is still looking at me in shock. Coincidentally, it is also the company that upgrades UA's hero gear. Some of us received our gear from your company. Wait, they upgraded UA's gear. Did I mess up by joining this company? How the hell did Mom have connections with them to even get me that interview? Who does she know? The CEO. I try to stop thinking as I start to have a migraine. Luckily for me, none of my blueprints got blown away when you ran by. I am very sorry for that oversight, Midoriya. Yeah. Sorry. Brace, they both look at me like two puppies who just got scolded. It's fine. I'm enjoying myself quite a bit. It's a nice view over the winter blossoms. Is it okay for you guys to take such a long break whilst training? That's right, Yida, we need to make a move on. Right, as he says in response. It was very nice meeting you, Midoriya. It was nice to meet you guys as well. You seem nice. Is it okay if we exchange contacts? Yeah, sure. I told both of them my contact details. I have no idea why, though. It's also my first time getting a girl's number. Well, we probably won't meet again. After we finish, Yida puts down his phone, turns to Uraraka, and says to me, we are going to head off now. Let's go. Come on, Ochako. She looks depressed in response. I wonder how far they are running. Midoriya. Bye. It was nice meeting you. As they ran off into the distance, their presence gave me a sense of familiarity. I guess some people who want to be heroes aren't all bad. I ignore it and continue my assignment. There's dust and rocks all over it. It's basically ruined as it's also torn. I have to redo it all over again. I look forward at my notes and then look up towards a cryptic building with blacked out and barred windows. It's a bar. I wait outside for Stain. I continue waiting for a while. A voice from behind me echoes into my ears. Are you going to go inside or are you just going to keep waiting? Stain stands behind me looming. I didn't even hear him approach. I was just waiting for you to arrive. I was in there the entire time. Stop wasting time and come on. He pulls me inside. Do I even have a choice anymore? As we walked in, it looked like a normal bar. There were two people, a person with his face covered in hands, and a person who looked like the personification of black smoke. Oi, we're here. As he scratches his face, he says with a scowl and an annoyed voice. This was the brat you were waiting for. He doesn't look like much. I flinch with the murderous intent he was putting out. He may not look like much. He doesn't even have a quirk. But he can help. He doesn't have a quirk. What were we even waiting for? We don't need useless trash like him. I've had enough. Why am I always being called trash? I immediately release killer intent. Far more than that fuckface of a villain. He reacts as he immediately gets into position to move. He runs at me. I prepare to counter. Shigaraki, stop. The smoked man immediately appeared in front of him. He couldn't stop him though. Before he had a chance to hit me with his palm, a voice echoed from behind. Tamura. As the voice resonates, he completely stops, not a slight movement. Who was it that could stop that bastard? Shigaraki, he said. Deku, you calm down as well. Don't cause me trouble, Stain repeated from behind me, glaring down on me. Now that the children have calmed down, let's get on to business. As the monitor flickered with a silhouette. What do you want from us? Stain stated in response, we have a plan. A few days ago, we attacked UA. We destroyed their defense gate. During this time, we also took a schedule. What does that have to do with us? Oh, but you don't understand. This schedule is for one purpose only. To kill All Might. Stain reacts in anger, and then switches to a wicked smile. Kill All Might. That's impossible, though he's the strongest and the #1 hero. It's not possible. Stain says in disbelief. Oh, but it is. Recently he has gotten much weaker. All Might has gotten weaker. How? When? I will tell you something, but first I need some reassurance. As he said that, a red light surrounded me and Stain. This is a quirk of mine. It allows for the entry of a contract. With this specific contract, it allows me to have reassurance that what's said here won't be repeated. Do you swear? Breaking this condition would mean death. Death? I don't know if I fine. He repeated without hesitation. I guess I don't have a choice in this matter. Sure. I and Stain both respond. In that instant, the red light turned to green and surrounded both of our bodies, then vanished into the air. Good. Now for this. All Might has a quirk that allows him to pass it on to others. This means that all of his abilities and strengths would also be transferred to that person. He recently chose a successor, so his power has weakened. Wait, what? All Might have a quirk that can be given to others, then why did he say I can't be a hero? Am I not good enough? A sharp pain pierces my head as I shake in pain. It hurts. What the hell is this? The pain is overpowering. It flows throughout my body. What the hell is this? Deku, what's wrong? No, nothing is wrong, I say in response whilst my body trembles in pain. We are going to attack USJ, which is a campus of the UA grounds that specializes in rescue protocols. Naturally, All Might is there, and we have a special gift prepared for him. So why me? Naturally, because we have investigated you. You have an ideology. Fake heroes deserve to be taken care of, and at USJ, there are a lot of fakes for you to play with, I see. However, you did something I did not expect. You got an apprentice, and he is full of potential. I shiver in response to his words. The pain from before slowly subsided. It felt like my mind was breaking in two. Deku, was it? If you were given the option to have a quirk, even if it meant dealing with an excruciating amount of pain to the point where you may even die, would you do it? I started to think about it. I recalled every moment from my past, from the school years of numerous bullying to the times when I was beaten to a pulp, to even the times when I was scarred by Bakugo. I think of every little thing that has happened in my life, up to the point where I met All Might, my last hope to be a hero. I can't get the image of him turning around to me, repeating the words, "You can never become a hero." Heroes are just lies we tell ourselves to give ourselves hope. There's no such thing as a hero. Even I know that now. We create a future for ourselves. Even if I become a villain in the end, I will become a true hero. As I look over to the silhouette on the monitor, I clearly say without a shred of doubt in my eyes, if I was given the choice between being quirkless and near certain death, but with a shred of hope of having one, I would choose to have a quirk every time. My life without one was torture. It can't get much worse from here. Good. As I look at the monitor, even if it's a black silhouette, I can tell it was almost obvious he had a wicked smile on his face right now. Crack. The sound of glass smashing fills the bar. Without realizing it, a massive swell of pain hits the back of my head as I drop to my knees. I slowly black out as I watch blood fill the floor. Ugh, my head, are you awake? A voice echoes throughout the dark, damp room. It looks like a torture chamber. Where am I? You are in my facility. The silhouette man stands out and walks over to me. He is wearing a black mask with machines hooked up to him. Are you surprised? This was done by All Might. Why am I here? You said you'd pay anything to get a quirk. I can give you one. It's a slightly painful experience. Can you really give me a quirk? Indeed. Usually, we would have to modify your body in order to handle a quirk. However, this is only the case if you have one already. You should be thankful that you're quirkless. What do you want in exchange for giving me a quirk? You can't be doing this for free. How smart. I only have one condition, and that is to support my successor, Shigaraki, now and in the future as an ally. So in exchange for a quirk, I have to become a villain. A minor trade-off compared to what you'd be receiving, I believe. What quirk would I be receiving? Well, that is why we are here. Receiving a quirk can be mentally taxing. It can drive you insane. Different quirks can be more taxing than others. So consider this training. Do you accept my offer? If you refuse, you can go home. You can live a normal life as a quirkless. Everything I've had to endure up until now, I won't let it go to waste. I will show everybody what it means to feel useless. I agree. Good, then, let's begin. As he steps out of the room, he calls somebody else in. It was a small woman. I couldn't see her face. She starts taking out an array of tools and different equipment. This will be fun. It's been a while since I've had to break someone. Phew. Let me hear you scream. The pain is overwhelming. I have to endure. I need to prove that blood started spilling out of every pore of my body. It was as if my sweat itself was turning to blood. She stops for a second as she switches her tools to a buzzsaw. She starts cutting pieces of my flesh. She cuts the palm of her hand and drips it into my mouth. Slowly my sliced flesh starts to heal. Was this her quirk? To make me suffer again and again? I can't back down now. Minutes pass. The pain builds, increasingly more painful than the last. My body is covered with blood, and all I can see is the face of that sadistic woman. An hour passes. It felt like days. Let it stop. What am I even here for? To become a hero. EFFT. That's hilarious. Several hours go by. When will it stop? My flesh is being cut to pieces every few seconds. The woman is starting to look tired. Is she overusing her quirk? Do I have to wait until she's exhausted for this to stop? The woman took a small drink of a weird liquid. She looks much better. What the hell did she drink to stop her quirk's side effects? Was it blood? Days? Weeks? It doesn't matter anymore. I can't even think anymore. I can't feel anymore. I start hearing a voice in my ear. What was it saying? He looks done. He lasted far longer than anybody else. I don't even know how he made it through. Usually, people last an hour at most before being put in that state. Well done. It only means I made the right choice. Can I have him for my own? His screams are so much fun. The wrist locks on my arms and legs start to loosen. Is it finally done? Am I free? Well done, Deku. It was an experience now. I'm going to pass you on a quirk. Most people wouldn't be able to handle this type of quirk, as it corrupts them if it's overused. If used to a certain extent, the pain can be worse than what you experience here. That isn't a problem. After a while, I stopped feeling the pain altogether. Oh, well, that is interesting. What is the quirk? It was a quirk that I found a few years ago. Someone in a mental asylum suffered the effects of the quirk and went completely insane. I thought it was unique, so I took it. I have never used it as I probably wouldn't be able to stand the side effects for long. However, I think it's a good quirk for someone like you. Finally, a quirk of my own. My suffering isn't in vain. If you do still feel pain, the process of receiving a quirk is extremely painful. So this is a good test of whether you're lying or not. A black fog surrounded me. It entered my body, through my arms, my legs, every piece of my body. Was this supposed to be painful? I looked towards the black masked man. Although he had a mask on, he was definitely shocked that I couldn't feel anything. His entire being instantly brightened at that moment. It is done. You really can't feel anything. You will become somebody extremely dangerous. What do I call you? My name is, well, you can call me All For One. Okay, All For One. How do I use this quirk? You have to be able to feel it. As for how you use it, that's up to you. So when do we attack you, eh? All in due time. We will contact you when we are ready. Have they reported that I am missing? No, we have sent people to inform your family that you have taken a temporary break. A break from work for the first few days. We have done everything to ensure that you wouldn't be suspicious. As for your designs, we have submitted them already. You guys did all that, just so that I can help you take down All Might. Not exactly, this is more like a test, to see the capability of Shigaraki. Is that everything? Can I leave now? Huo, you have an attitude. There's one more thing. This is a mask created with a disguise-based quirk. If you wear it, your appearance will change. That's extremely useful indeed. It's a rare item. It can't change your body's appearance, but can change your hair color and voice. Thanks for everything, no problem. All you have to remember is our deal. Yes, I will support Shigaraki-senpai. Good. I still feel mentally exhausted. I can still feel pain, however. A knife stabbing into me feels like a needle pricking my finger. I guess it's both a blessing and a curse. More importantly, I need to find out how to use my quirk. Before I realized it, I was sucked in by a void. I stepped out and found myself in an alley, seemingly behind my home. I look back and see Kurogiri. Is this your quirk? Indeed. A final word of advice. When you come into our establishment, dress the part. You are going to be working as a waiter, or at least that's what it is on the surface. But what? As he cuts me off, he states, Deku, it is natural to have more than one job, correct? Okay. As I finish my reply, he vanished. How did they know where I live? In just those few days, they found out a lot about me. I head around to the front of my building as I am greeted by my mom. Izuku sob, welcome back. She suddenly hugs me as she continues to cry and sob. Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? How could I not? You were gone for an entire week. I was bombarded with calls from your work. I explained that you were sick, but an entire week? I thought I might be gone for a few days maximum. I guess it's because I lost my sense of time and my feeling of pain. That's probably the only reason I lasted so long. I got it. I'll be sure to talk to the manager. I'm going to head to my room. I need to write up some stuff. Okay, sweetie, I'll start on the dinner then. As I walk into my room, it's still as I left it. It was a mess, as I had a chest full of spare equipment parts. The only thing missing were my blueprints. I guess they really did submit them for me. Even though they're villains, they aren't that bad. I sit on my bed trying to meditate. This should work, right? Cultivators always did this to get their powers. Time passes as nothing happens. An hour passes, and still nothing. I guess it isn't that easy. Wait, how do I even know he can actually give me a quirk? Maybe he just tortured me for fun. It would be pretty stupid if All Might actually could pass on his quirk. I mean, if he could, why didn't he give it to me? I laughed to myself at the thought, in my mind repressing everything that happened, just thinking it was all some stupid joke. I should really head to work. I need to explain myself after all. As I head out, I see my mom humming in the kitchen, completely ignorant of what happened the past few days. The amount of scars that have piled up on my body. Even though she could heal the wound, the scars still replace them. After getting off the train and heading for my work, I see the receptionist, and she looks at me with a worried look. She must have known I wasn't in the past week. I head into the elevator and head up to the design department, where all their eyes are on me. I quickly headed for the manager's office, and she noticed me at the door. Finally, arrived. Even though you're an intern, we have expectations. We also have policies for tardiness. You are exceptional, there isn't a doubt about that. In just a day, you managed to get up to speed with everyone and implement your own concepts. This isn't something that is easily achieved. However, a week, really. If not for you publishing the designs we asked for, you'd probably be out of this department already. I continue to listen as I get scolded for my absence. She notices my remorseful look. Oh, look, if you continue to take time off, you won't be allowed to work here anymore. You will not be paid for the time you were off. You will also have to do overtime. This is the minimum punishment I can give you for your absence. Yes, ma'am. Leave. Of course. I will get to work then. As time passes, I get caught up with what I missed. Although the other interns had a hateful look towards me, I didn't get punished as severely as they hoped. Without realizing it, time flies by as the day ends. I walk out of the building and start to walk home. As I cross the riverbank, I head through the alleys as it's much faster to get home. As I walked through the alley, bonk, what the hell? He didn't go down from that. As I touched the back of my head, blood covered my hand. I looked at the people who tried to attack me as I started to move. I didn't have my equipment, so I couldn't fight back. As I looked at the weapon they hit me with, it looked like a metal bat with a dent in it. All for one definitely did something to me. My skull would have been smashed open by that, normally. I tried to run as a figure emerged from the front of the alley. Boss, we no need, he is clearly tough. He lifts a knife from his waist. I couldn't escape, both alleys were blocked off, and I couldn't go to the roof. As he brings his knife up, he licks it with his saliva. He charges at me, throwing the knife in my direction. I barely avoided it. Before I had a chance to react, the person behind me caught the knife and sliced the side of the arm with it. They start smirking. We will talk to you once you wake up. What? As I tried to speak, I started to become sleepier and sleepier until everything went black. I wake up in a dark room. It looks like a jail cell. I think I'm in a basement, what's with all the random plot devices, making me get hit in the back of the head and unconscious recently. I look around, my hands are bound in rope. The person who kidnapped me can be heard from outside. Are you sure this is really gonna work? Yeah, I think so. If we can take his friend, we can lure him out. Friend? I don't have many friends. The only person I can think of is Katsuki. But why would they take me? It can't be him. The door slides open as the man who put me to sleep steps forth. You're awake. Good. A quirkless kid like you should be enough. For what exactly? To lure someone out. Oh, you overheard me. Well, yes, you are merely a tool to lure out Bakugo. You see, he was a friend of ours a while back. He caused us issues and abandoned us when we were looking for help. Now we want revenge. It really was him why I am always getting in trouble for other stupid problems. Katsuki won't come for me. He hates my guts. Let's see about that, he says as he pulls his phone out from his pocket. He presses a button on his neck. Bakugo, we have a friend of yours, Izuku Midoriya, come to alone, and we will make sure he stays alive. As he moves his phone towards me, he puts it to my ear as if he wants me to talk. Before I can say anything, Katsuki interrupts with Midoriya. That stupid Deku. Ha ha ha. You really think I would come for someone as worthless as him? You are out of your goddamn mind. Ha ha ha, that's perfect. Just like it should be, a hero acting like a villain and a villain trying to be a hero. How ironic it is. As I start to fuel with rage, screams echo around me. The darkness around me starts to speak to me. Is this my quirk? I can feel the suffering of the dead. It was mortifying. Help us, stop him, kill him, as if the souls of the dead were screaming in my ears to kill him. I will never kill, I won't. As my thoughts turn bleak, the man tries stabbing me in the hand to get a reaction. I stay quiet as he puts on a surprised look. He cuts me again and again, and still nothing. As my thoughts start to drift due to boredom, are you mute, boy? You are worthless to us if you say nothing. Ha ha ha. You really think a bastard like that would even try to come for me? You're more idiotic than I imagined. You can cut me. You can make me bleed. But there is one thing you can't do to me. What is that? You can't make me suffer. Myself, on the other hand. Boom, the phone dropped as murmurs were coming from it. Katsuki must have called the heroes by now. I need to leave. The shadows around me rise up and burst outwards, throwing and forcing the man against the wall. I need to remember this feeling. This power, it's mine. Ha ha. Ha ha ha, is this all you are? You try to make me feel fear. Yet you cower in response, but you're quirkless. We know you're quirkless. Oh yes, you have friends as well. Don't you? How about you meet my friends? I command the surrounding shadows to rise up. I grunt in pain as I fall to my knees. The shadowy figures that were once rising fall into a puddle of shadow once more. I tried to call on the victims of that murderer to help me fight. They must have refused, or my quirk is too weak to be able to pull off something like that right now. My vision suddenly blurs slightly as I get a wince of pain in the back of my head. I guess that's too much for me. Ha, you can't even control your own quirk. What a dumbus. Haha, are you in a position to talk? I say as I pull his knife away from him, stroking it on his face, making small cuts on his cheek, as I suddenly slam down and stabbing his hand, causing him to writhe in pain. If you want to see what I can really do, you only need to ask. I try to manipulate the shadows to pull on his arms and legs, like a rope binding him. I pull both of his arms in opposite directions as he begins to scream in pain, just from the feeling of his flesh and bones being stretched. I can see why All For One said this was powerful. Let's try this one on for show. You're out of your goddamn mind. That may be true, however, you aren't really capable of thinking either, are you? To use me as leverage to bring Katsuki-kun here. Hilarious. As I move the shadows around, I start to learn how to control them better. I try to use my shadows, much like how I use the strings on my support equipment. I attach them to each of his joints, and to each of his body parts, slowly learning how to move his body. He's like my puppet. I try to use the shadows on the ceiling and grab him, pulling him upwards. I attach it to each part of his body, pulling him around like a puppet. Mind me for a second, these strings are like inverted controls. Haha. Haha, I move him to open the door, using a shadow to press down on his throat to stop him from speaking. As he walks into the corridor, hey boss, what's up? Why? Boss, why? The puppet screams in murmurs as he watches his subordinates fall one by one. Of course, I try to prevent them from dying. That wouldn't be any fun, slashing at their joints to separate their tendons, stopping them from moving. The screams of agony coming from them must be torturing this guy one by one. We start to move outside the building. How many people fell along the way? 20, 30, 50, who knows? But seeing their expression when their boss betrayed them was absolutely hysterical. PPL, please let me go. I didn't know who we were dealing with. Please don't kill me. I won't kill you. I only want you to suffer and repent. I try to force my shadows into his mind. All the screams, agony, and sorrows from his previous victims all barraged him at once. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He starts mumbling and whispering to himself over and over again. The shadows have stopped, the surrounding voices quieted down, and all the leftover screams of agony start to vanish as well. He still screams in repentance. He's broken. The Q goes Pov. I've arrived at the location where that stupid Deku was being held. I walk into the building and I see a man cowering in the corner. Hey, Jude, what's wrong with you? I didn't do it. I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. I didn't mean it. I'll get you some help. What the hell? I walked further into the building. Blood covered the floors, and bodies filled them as well. They all seem to be alive. Most of them are unconscious, and some of them are screaming in pain. Who could have done this? I pull out my phone and call the police. Wait, where the hell is Deku? I start running through the halls in fear as I imagine the quirkless Deku, dead on the ground. More and more bodies are seen as I finally arrive at a dark room. No one is there. It was a prison cell. It was covered in blood. What the hell? Where is he? Deku. As I got home, I noticed a note on my bedroom desk. Since the kidnapping, a day hasn't even passed. The note stated I was to meet Stain at Hosu in a few hours. My mom has already fallen asleep. I am tired as well. When the hell am I supposed to sleep? I tried to reactivate my quirk, and I had the feeling that it was memorized. However, when I tried to replicate it, it was far from as overwhelming as before. I couldn't even bring out a quarter of what I did before. Why? I tried to think back to the moment I was captured, the feeling of helplessness and anger. What was it in that situation that made my quirk so strong? As I reflected more and more, my mind started to drift off to the phone call and the hatred I felt. Suddenly, a massive surge of energy from my quirk appeared. Anger, disappointment, fear were the things that fueled my quirk. Negative emotions. To think All For One gave me a quirk specifically for my hatred. As time passes, I try a range of things with my quirk. I can manipulate the shadows to a certain extent, but what can I do with them other than that? The shadows are quiet. I'm at a loss. There's not much time before meeting with Stain. As I start to lose patience, I fall to the ground in defeat. As I touch the ground, the floor engulfed with my shadow, and my hand seemingly slid into it. I pull my hand back out, not knowing what happened. It was completely fine. I try to test the waters by putting my body further and further inside the shadows. It seems it doesn't affect my body. As I come to that realization, I put my head into the shadows. As soon as I do, it feels like I'm suffocating. Feelings of regret, anguish, and pain intensified. It also felt like I was underwater. I couldn't breathe at all. I take my head back out to grab some air. As soon as I'm ready, I go into the shadows entirely. As I step inside, the void-like realm appears to be a dark purple color. I look at the ground, and it's almost like a reflection of my room that I am standing on. Where I stand, it's like I'm standing on the opposite side of an icy lake beneath the water. I can't breathe and there are ponds of water everywhere where I can enter and exit, and I am standing on the ice. I try to move, but as soon as I try, I am hit with overwhelming pressure. Each step made the intensity of the void even more apparent. More negative feelings flooded my mind as I started feeling sorrow and anguish. That wasn't my own. After a while, it feels like my mind is about to break under the apparent pressure. I quickly walk out through one of the ponds. My entire body is suffering under the strain of the pressure as I quickly leave. I end up in the normal world. It's the same as the void except much brighter, and the locations match as well. It's as if I walk to my desk in the void. I would appear next to my desk in the normal world. Isn't this too strong? I think to myself. As I do so, an overwhelming pain enters my entire being. What the hell? Hoo ha 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 as I drop to my knees vigorously coughing out of breath and gasping for air. This continues for a while, as it feels like there's no air in my lungs for more than a minute. All the time I spent in the void realm was reflected as I left. As soon as I recovered, I went to test something. I took a sketch pencil from my desk and entered the void, not trying to move around as I'd probably feel the pressure again. I put the pencil on the icy spots where it's just a flat surface. I leave the void and re-enter from another location, a distance away from where I put the pencil. As I enter it again, the pencil appears right where I stand. It moved to where I am. Interesting. Wait, doesn't this mean that no matter where I enter and exit, it will be right next to me? Invisible storage, I say as I mutter to myself. Wouldn't this negate bringing my equipment around with me? I could just take anything I want and put it in the void. Was All For One even aware of this? I don't think he would have given this to me if he knew so. This quirk, it has portable storage, shadow manipulation, and soul manifestations. This quirk is much stronger than Kitsuki's, although if my shadows are affected by light, his explosions would really screw me over. But still, as the realization sets in, I finally have a quirk, something to call my own. I won't be treated or bullied as worthless anymore. Oh, wait, if I reveal I have a quirk, that's just gonna make everything more complicated. I should keep it hidden. They also won't suspect me when I do become a full-fledged villain. Without realizing it, my thoughts of if or maybe turned into will, much like when I wanted to become a hero. I have no thoughts other than becoming a villain. Is it because I realized I can't become a hero? Or because heroes are the thing ruining this world? As I get trapped in my own head thinking about all the possibilities of my new quirk, I notice the time. Oh crap, I'm gonna be late. I quickly grab all my equipment and throw them into the void as I rush to the train station. I rush to where I meet up with Stain as he looks at me with a scowl on his face. You're late? Yeah. Sorry, where is your equipment? I forgot to take it out of the shadow. I guess he will find out eventually. I trust him enough. He's the reason I got this quirk in the first place. As it is night, everything is shadowed in darkness. I reach into the ground, my arm entering the void as I grab my support gear. Interesting, that's the quirk you were given. Yes, my quirk is shadow manipulation. I can bend shadows to my will and enter a shadow-like world. Suitable. Is that all he's going to say about it? I thought you would be more surprised. You went through a week of torture. If you have nothing, there would be hell to pay. He actually gives off a father figure vibe. I'd never say that out loud, as I don't want my neck slit open. What are we going to be doing? Hero hunting. Hero hunting. Yes. We will cleanse this world of those fakes. The ones that do not deserve to be called heroes. His thoughts are similar to my own. Heroes should help and save people, without any personal gain. Cleansing this world of the fakes is a different approach than what I would take. However, his ideology, his appearance, and his pressure can shake the world of heroes all on its own. Let's begin. Yes. Stain and I looked through each of the alleys, one by one, trying to find a villain. If we can find one, we can lure a hero. But what will Stain do? Will he kill them? I don't know if I can handle killing someone. My train of thought continues as we go from building to building. I use a combination of my shadow manipulation to help control my support gear more easily. Boom, a loud bang goes off as the side of a building explodes to pieces. Is it a bank? Villains start to run outside a building through the wall made by an explosion. He suddenly shouts to the other villains as one by one they start to carry out the bags from the building. There are several of them as I hear words being spoken next to me. Perfect bait. Realized it. He had already jumped down to the street. How fast is he? He quickly navigates between the villains as they jump in surprise. Stain zigzags, cutting each of them with blood on his blade. I didn't even need to do anything, as he took them down in seconds. Who are you? Deku, Stain says, calling me to action. Yes, Tie them up? Huh. What does he want to? Oh, I think I understand. I quickly detach one of my strings and tie them up to the point where they can't move a muscle. I position them in the darkness, so that only their silhouette would show. If a hero does come, all they would see is the figure of villains causing havoc. Would this really work? Unknown POV. I received a call about the disturbance. I'm heading my way there now. Be careful. The caller saw that there were multiple villains. Of course. Let's go, guys. Yes. I head down the street following the directions I'm being given through my earpiece. Right, left, straight until I see a group of villains and a broken wall with bags scattered on the ground. They haven't seen me yet. Are they talking to each other? They aren't moving. I should take this chance. I will take point, quickly follow behind me, use formation C. I quickly sprint at them, increasing my engine's power to 3rd gear, so that I can incapacitate them. I quickly lunged at them. As my vision adjusts to the darkness, I can see the villain's eyes screaming, as if to tell me not to. I then notice they are slightly hovering above the ground, stuck in midair. They are tied up. Damn it. I can't stop myself. I continue forward with a flying kick. I can't decrease my speed. I try to rotate my body slightly in midair, using my engines to twist my body. I suddenly crash into the villains, shoulder barging them. I can hear the crunching of their bones, as their joints are locked up in difficult positions by the strings. Their body was suddenly being hit by a heavy force. Their bones completely break, one by one. What the hell did I just do? I continue to go flying as I smash into a wall. My blood drips from my head. My blood quickly gets wiped by a shadowy figure as my entire body freezes up. I can't move. My sidekicks can only help me. The hero killer seems to be watching the fight. Wait, why are they fighting each other? Is it the boy's quirk? They try to attack the boy as one by one. I see them fall. Damn it, what the hell just happened? 3 future pros down. Just like that. As I snap back to reality, I can feel my body being able to move again, if only slightly. I look up to see 2 people, a small child and the hero killer. What the hell? I need to call for help. I can almost move as I twitch. His quirk is wearing off. I try to reach for my earpiece, restrain him. The hero killer suddenly says to my surprise, "Is he training the young boy?" Of course. What the hell is this? The shadows against the wall are grasping me tight, as if arms made of shadows are locking down my entire body, grasping me in its grips. Suddenly, the boy pushed his hand forward as the same strings that held up the villains wrapped around my body, anchoring into the ground. They detach from his fingertips as I'm completely stuck. Does the boy have multiple quirks? No, that's not possible. Is it support gear? This all has to be one quirk. Why did someone like this become a villain? The hero killer looks down at me with a grin on his face. Fear fills my mind as all I can think about is trying to escape. The strings and shadows keep me trapped to the ground against the building wall. Please no. Deku's perspective is that ingenium. Where are his sidekicks? Off in the distance, 3 people follow behind him, trying to catch up. His quirk relies on speed. But isn't he going too fast? Did he take the bait? As I continue to wonder, I notice him leaping into the air, engaging the villains. Isn't he going to crash into them? Bang! The villains start to break apart as he hits them head on. What if I was a villain and these were civilians? Why was he so rash to fight them? I look to Stain as he looks with a smile on his face. A fake. Deal with the others. Did he come to that conclusion because of Ingenium's mistake? He suddenly moves down to Ingenium. I move with him. As I look at Ingenium, as I notice his exhausts have been bent as a result of the collision. He can't escape. No problem, I say in response. I jump down to the sidekicks who are trying to catch up to Ingenium. They have a look of panic on their face as they see Stain confront him. Get out of our way, one of them says to me as the sidekick A charges at me. I notice his movements are extremely slow. I quickly wrap up his arm with my support gear and dislocate it from his shoulder. He screams in pain and agony. The other 2 quickly follow up, trying to deal with me. The sidekick B is quite fast. However, I use my shadows to take control of him. Puppet strings. As I say those words, I prepare my attack. I attach my support gear to each of his joints, tying them around. My quirk follows the shadows made by my support gear, latching onto him and controlling his movements. When I used this before, I only used my shadows, so it was much harder to control. A sudden look of confusion appears on their faces as they see their comrade change directions and start attacking them. Stop! What are you doing? I can't control my body, help me. As he tries to resist my strings, he might have been able to break off it. If I didn't have my support gear to gain further control of him, I control the sidekick B to use to attack the others, although I haven't gotten to the point where I can control their quirk. However, I can still make them attack each other. The sidekick, C, strikes with punches and kicks, trying to take down his teammate as he hears sidekick, B, cries of fear, struggling and trying to get back in control. This is so fun. I watch in amusement as they struggle like ants. He must be controlling them. Focus on him. They try to lunge at me directly. I lower one of my hands, only using one to control the shadows and strings, making it hard to control him as well. Instead, I use the support gear to trip one of the sidekicks. C, the other sidekick, A, tries to attack as I block with my puppet, and I target his good arm as I counterattack with my puppet. Sidekick, A, screams in pain in response. Their screams are amusing as I laugh to myself slowly. But surely I am enjoying this even more. Bit by bit, this must be the side effect of my quirk. I need to finish up quickly as I wrap the surrounding strings of the sidekicks, C, as to prevent them from moving, whilst I use my puppet to injure the other sidekick, A. One by one, the sidekicks get beaten to a pulp. They couldn't fight their friend, so I had to take liberties and injure them myself. They really don't make it any fun for me as I make them fall. I trap them on the ground with my shadows, and then I tie them up completely with my strings, making them unable to move an inch. They start screaming to Ingenium as I head back over to Stain, with a satisfied grin on my face. He looked at me with a smile, as he watched me closely take the sidekicks down. Ingenium starts to twitch, as though it seems Stain's quirk is wearing off. He says to me with a wicked face, restrain him of course. I obediently do as Stain says. He suddenly tries to reach for his ear as I realize. I quickly used my support gear and called the shadows to bind his hands and legs, so that he couldn't move. He was completely incapable of escaping. He couldn't call for help. You didn't even consider the possibility that they were civilians. You're not a hero, you're just a fake. Ingenium stays silent as if he accepts everything Stain is saying. Not a single refute until why are you doing this? All these heroes that you killed, what about their families? The one who misses them when they are gone. How many people did you take away from them? Kukuku, I am cleansing this world of fake heroes. Stain suddenly stabs him in his legs as he licks his blade. Ingenium quickly has a strange expression as he realizes that he can't escape. One by one, he stabs him in his arms and legs, making him useless, until Slice his mask splits apart, and a clean cut appears down the middle as the two pieces of his mask fall to the ground. As Stain looks at him, Ingenium shows fear in his eyes. We came here for you. You were merely the next name on my list. You aren't a hero. The only true hero is All Might. He says that with a clear tone. Did he come here specifically for Ingenium? Why? Slice Ingenium falls. With a lifeless expression, he drops to the ground, not a single word uttered. Stain picks up his helmet as he presses the side of it on its ear. Did he just call for the heroes? Let's go? Yes, maybe he wants them to know that it was him who killed them. The sidekicks are still alive. Did he leave them because he wanted a witness? Or because it wasn't his prey? It was the first time I watched someone die. Their lifeless eyes almost tortured my soul. I can't get over their lifeless expression tormenting me. I don't think I'll ever get used to this. I quickly spring away with Stain doesn't have a single thought of doubt as I realize this is what villains are. Before that I have a question. Why Ingenium? He doesn't have the confidence to rely on himself. He puts others in danger. He has to have a group of sidekicks around him almost constantly for him to feel that he can be a hero. Although he may look like a hero and be like a hero to others, he is nothing more than a fake. I see. I managed to get up early in the morning for a few hours of rest. I wake up to find news articles filled with Ingenium's death. I watch the TV to see what exactly was reported. Hello, I am Toshi Takahashi. Welcome to the show. Today we begin with breaking news. Last night, a beloved hero by many has passed away. His unfortunate death was the result of the hero killer. Reports of a villain attack emerged late last night as a bank was being robbed. Alarms were cut and the heroes were called by an anonymous citizen. Ingenium and his sidekicks were on first response. This simple villain attack turned horrifying after Ingenium took the fight to them. We have his sidekicks here with us, who can elaborate on what just transpired last night. Hi, it's good to be here. We came here today to speak about the dangers of the hero killer. However, it wasn't the hero killer who stopped us. The hero killer has taken an apprentice who has an extremely dangerous quirk that allows the control of other people. The hero killer was the one who dealt the finishing blow on Ingenium. However, it was his apprentice who trapped him, leading to his death. From what we know, he was teaching the boy. He had white hair and a grey mask on. He took us out in minutes. Murmurs come from the background of the live broadcast, as if the studio didn't want them degrading Ingenium by saying he was taken down by a teenager. They keep mentioning my white hair. They clearly don't understand that the mask is disguising me. We actually have some CCTV footage of what transpired yesterday and of the puppeteer. Puppeteer? What do they mean by that? a video suddenly plays, and the CCTV camera is in a weird position. It doesn't show the hero killer, but it clearly shows me. My fighting style was a bit sluggish in some areas, and I could improve the smoothness of my control. It shows me taking down the sidekicks without any effort. I quickly take notes and put them inside my villain notebook on a random page, so if it is seen it wouldn't be suspicious. Is this a new era of villains? In other news, riots are currently bombarding hero organizations all over Japan. They don't feel safe in the comfort of their homes and their neighborhoods. The hero killer only targets those he believes aren't true heroes. We found this information out from his previous victims that were crippled after they met with him. This was Channel 3 News. More on this story later. My mom suddenly walks through the door as she sees me watching TV. Izuku, sweetie, is there anything you need to tell me? Did she find out? But how? Did I leave any evidence? No, why? You have been strangely distant lately. It's like you're hiding something from me. Oh, that's just, I've been swamped with work recently. She didn't find out. It's just her motherly intuition. It's scary. If you have anything to tell me, please let me know, she says with a sad expression as she starts to leave. I can't even tell her. I start to head to work as I see crowds making memorials in response to Ingenium. These must be the people who he saved. He had such a large amount of people who cared for him. I look at the lampposts and I see a familiar face. It was a poster. It was of someone named the Puppeteer. A realization clicked in my mind. Is that my villain's name? It was sketched with what I'm supposed to look like. However, it looks completely different to me. But the reward for turning me in is insanely high. I continue to work as if nothing happened. I headed up to the elevator as I was called into the manager's office. She looked at me with pity as she said, your design has been removed from the project. What? Why? If you didn't realize, your design theories conflict with each other, meaning that they wouldn't be able to be put into practice. Have I really been so preoccupied that I messed up on a design? I look closer as I see the evident mistake. This doesn't even look like the designs I would make. Are these actually my designs? I try to remember, but I can't recall anything about this project. We don't allow mistakes like this in our company. Usually, we would give you a second chance. However, you have not been completing your overtime. You have left for several days at a time, and you are not contributing to this team. Wait, you don't have to come tomorrow. You're fired. I'm an intern though. I barely get paid as it is. I got fired for a mistake that wasn't even mine. I'm almost positive these aren't my designs. Everything that happened in the last few days has confused my head as I can't make any sense of what just happened. As I go to say something, this isn't even my I don't care what you have to say, security. A man suddenly comes through the door and escorts me out. The surrounding interns look at me with a smile on their faces as if they have accomplished something amazing. Was it them? What did I do to deserve this treatment? Deal with them, make them suffer. They did this to you. Shut up, shut up, shut up. I walk out of the company. All eyes are on me. I exit the gates as I get really annoyed. What would my mom say about this? She's been really stressed out recently because of me. I can't just tell her I lost my job. I have an idea as I take out my phone. I dial up and call Kurogiri. Do you have any work I can do? As I am eating lunch in my room, I start to think about the things that transpired last week. Since then I haven't heard anything from Stain or the League of Villains. After losing my job, I managed to get work at the League of Villains bars, working at a bar. Surprisingly, it's just delivering drinks and such. Still working at a bar whilst I'm underage. I wouldn't have expected this a year or two ago. It seems my mom hasn't found out I lost my job. I don't know what to do when it comes to her. Do I just vanish? I don't really want her to suffer anymore. As my train of thought staggers, Kurogiri suddenly appears in front of me. He asks me to get ready as we are going to go on the attack soon. He gave me an hour to get my bearings as he disappeared as fast as he came. I make sure I am completely ready, and I go through all the possible scenarios in my head with which items I need. Kurogiri reappears after some time has passed and takes me to the League of Villains hideout. Before we enter the building, I put my hand in the void and pull out custard bread. Damn it, I can't see inside without putting my head in, so I put it back and pull out the right equipment. I put on my mask. My hair shifts from a bright green to a grayish white as I look into the windows, trying to make out my appearance from the barred windows. My hair is white, my eyes aren't shown through the mask, it's just pitch black as if they are hollow. Am I a skeleton? Ha! I pull out my equipment from the shadows, and I strap my support gear to my wrists. They were much more compact as I worked on the design over the past few days. I got rid of my bodysuit as it was an unnecessary power waste. I couldn't show in exercise clothes, so I just came in with my normal formal attire. my vest, tie, and trousers. We've grouped up to a location, per the request of the Kurogiri. I and Stain stand among the crowd of villains as Kurogiri pulls us aside, as if he wants to differentiate us from those who are useless. We have been planning to attack USJ for a while now. All the students and future heroes are grouped up. This will be fun. Class 1 will lose this game, and we will finally be able to take down All Might. We can do this because of one key factor, Shigaraki says with a grin on his face. 1A. Isn't that the class Katsuki is in, along with Achako and Yida? Thudding starts to come from the other room as a massive man steps forth. What the hell is that? Its brain is clearly visible, its skin is dark purple, and it has a sharp beak. We call this Nomu, the key to killing All Might. Shigaraki goes over the plan. Each detail has been planned out to a meticulous extent. There are a few short sights, but separating the students, so that the Nomu can deal with All Might is key to this. Do I really want to kill All Might? You have to. He betrayed you. He let you down. Shut up. As I thought that, all the shadows in my head started to quiet down, even if it's only slightly. Oi Deku, are you listening? Huh, what? Fucking listen. I'm not going to repeat myself again. Ah, sure. Everyone around me starts laughing as if saying, is this kid really a villain? As I said before, you will go to the storm zone. This zone is enclosed, so it would be better suited for your quirk. Ah, how did he know about my quirk? Did All for One tell him? The storm zone is right by the entrance, and I look at the blueprints Shigaraki is holding. Stain, you're with me, Kurogiri, and Nomu. We will take the fight to All Might directly. Before we start this game, does anyone have any questions? There's still something wrong with his plan. Do I tell him? No one responds, as if put off by Shigaraki's or his presence. Stain continues to look at him without saying a word. Just as he's about to finish, I put my hand in the air. He looks at me with contempt. Go ahead. What do we do about the students? We are focusing on All Might, but he isn't the only factor. I know a few of the students from UA, and one of them specializes in a speed-based quirk. What happens if they decide to escape and call for backup? We might be overwhelmed by heroes. Everyone was shocked by what I said. Why? Is it because I questioned their plan, or because I voiced my own opinion? Shigaraki scratches his neck furiously, as if he didn't consider the possibility. Fine. We will do it your way. Kurogiri positions some villains outside the building to block them. It will be done, Kurogiri says in response. Shigaraki walks up to me slowly and whispers into my ear, dare question me again, and I'll make your life a living hell. He steps back as he shouts, let's begin. Kurogiri shifts into a void-like gas as he surrounds everybody. One by one, groups of villains start disappearing. First, the aquatic villains and then the ground-based ones, and the rest follow soon after. Moments later, I get swept up by Kurogiri, and I stand in front of a group of villains. They start moving about as if to prepare their positions for the students that will be teleported here. I sit from above so that I can find out what quirks they have. Soon after, Kurogiri drags the students to us. It was a raven-like student, and I can't tell what he is, but he looks extremely timid. And that concludes this episode. If you enjoyed it, I'd seriously love it if you guys could leave a like on the video, as it genuinely helps out so much, and it keeps me going. Plus, it takes only 1 second. That said, have a wonderful day. Catch you in the next one.